Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TEW2020 video. You join us today for our 1 year anniversary of the save. We started this back in December 2020 and here we are 1 year on. I think, can we actually check? It's going to take a while. There we go. That was the first ever show that we'd done and it was headlined by the Machine Gun Carl Anderson taking on Josh Alexander, with the likes of Eric Young versus Willie Mack, Team C-Stars versus Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, we had Rhino versus Adam Fornstow, Rohit Raju versus Swoggle, Kimberly versus Killer Kelly, AC Romero versus Glenn Gilberti, and we had Sami Callihan defeat Hernandez. So quite a change to the roster since then, and I'd like to think in that time as well I've certainly gained a lot more knowledge on the goings on in Impact Wrestling. Wouldn't say I'm watching it all the time. I'd say just tuning in to YouTube clips, etc. Keeping an eye on results. So hopefully, as I say, we can carry on the momentum we've gained as a company through that knowledge. Obviously, we've recruited well. I'd say we've recruited some people that I maybe wasn't familiar with 6 months ago, and these days I'm certainly are. So that's good as well. We're on the road to Final Resolution. I want to say that's the pay-per-view. So kind of end the year thing. It's obviously not a finale that's bound for glory, but we still want to end the year on a high. And we did a few twists and turns along the way since the pay-per-view we just had, their turning point. Some bad, some good, but things are going to shape up a little bit around here in Impact Wrestling. There's a few other things I'll cover as the episodes unfurls, but thanks for watching. Let's do this. This is this week's Impact Wrestling on Axis TV. So straight off the bat with some massive news, and Kurt Angle starts the show and he strips Ronda Rousey and Jamie Hayter of the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships. This segment gathers to 57. Kurt Angle comes across well, but why does he strip the championships? Well, that is a very good question. Unfortunately, since the pay-per-view, we had Jamie Hayter in action for Rev Pro, and she has suffered a herniated disc which will rule her out of action for 1 year. So yeah, no point in keeping the belts on them if she's going to be out for that long. Crap, because I thought Ronda would really give her an opportunity. I feel Jamie Hayter's someone that I never really get behind in these saves, despite her really good attributes. So I'm hoping the skill set she's got will maybe get it eventually, but Ronda will go our separate ways effectively. And yeah, we'll look to crown new Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. I will say as well, I should have touched on this earlier, we should, when we get these tapings done, be close to 1,000 in attendance. So we've trebled that since we started. The industry and the economy is both rising within the US, so I'm hoping we can really latch on with that, and that might be beneficial from us jumping from small to medium in company size. But hopefully that's one vital cog in the wheel, Ronda Rousey, and us getting to medium. So 57 is the strongest angle to start the show. We then have a very slow game that starts us off with some action. A decent matchup with Wardlow take on Griff Garrison, and Wardlow picks up the win in 7-11 with Splash Mountain Powerbomb. A 46 here. As you can gather, obviously a lot of our new recruits we want to start off with winning runs, and obviously after beating Matt Cardona, Wardlow extends that winning run with victory over Griff Garrison. We then had a matchup here that was decent. It was your X Division champion Suicide defeating Senza Volto in 9:34 when Suicide wins by pinfall. This gave him his third defence of the X Division Championship and it gathered a 46 rating. My thinking for this one was, it gives Suicide a title defence and he's now got the overness that he can carry an opponent. Senza Volto not very known to the American audience, but I feel like this can gain him probably 4 or 5 stats in popularity within the States just from being on the broadcast. Interesting stat. Obviously our Suicide character is portrayed by Ariel Dominguez. When I gave the gig to Dominguez, I just thought I was getting a pretty good high flyer. He is a pretty good high flyer, but I didn't realise when I watched the AEW Dark how small he was. He's generally the size of Marco Stunt. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. When you educate yourself on people and learn about them through TW, yeah, I used to think Tommaso Ciampa was this big massive guy, like a proper Wardlow size guy, just for the visual image that I saw in game, and yeah, was quite surprised when I saw he was 200 odd pounds. So yeah, first images are not everything when you see them in TW, but as I say, that's the thing. Sometimes I'll figure it. I'll find someone from TW, and then you learn about them in real life, and you enjoy their work. So listen, learn. It's a good database to introduce you to talent you maybe once weren't familiar with. Moving along, Ken Shamrock cuts a promo on Matt Riddle, which gathers a 43. Now, the pay-per-view saw Matt Riddle defeat Ken Shamrock, so Ken Shamrock comes out and says, typical wrestling match, you may have beat me there. I'm determined not to lose this battle. I want one more matchup, Matt Riddle, and I want it a matchup that we are both very familiar with. Do you accept? He doesn't name the stipulation. I want to build it over a couple of weeks. If I can drag it to the pay-per-view, great, but I might have an impact. But yeah, I quite like the idea of the stipulation. Bringing back something from the mid-90s WWF. Well, we spin on it, but looking forward to it if we get it done. Max Caster will be facing Jeff Hardy next, and obviously with the Acclaimed and with Max Caster, you got to have the disc before the matchup, so you just disses Jeff Hardy to a 55 rating there. And their matchup was good heat, decent wrestling. Jeff Hardy defeats Max Caster in 7:31 with the twist of fate. A 57, not great, but Max Caster not particularly over in this save at the moment. Jeff was off his game, so probably could have had a 70 rated performance there, but it does the job in giving Jeff Hardy some more positive momentum. We move along, and after that matchup, we have Matt Hardy backstage, and he is being beaten the crap out of by FTR. Obviously, FTR made their intentions known to the Hardys at the last pay-per-view, and obviously with Jeff nowhere near Matt, he has been beaten down by those bastardly heels. So a 63 here, as that feud will continue. We then had a decent matchup, Richard Holliday in action, as we look to continue to debut our new talents, and he picked up a win over Rhino in 7:56 with a market crash. A 50 performance here, both guys with a 48, and I just feel it's a good experience vet that we could have put with Richard Holliday. We'll obviously have to rotate most talent over the course of the 4 tapings, just so we don't fatigue them and basically put them to injury. That would be the worst thing we could do, is we've already lost a few, and these could be vital hands going forward. We then had a celebration ceremony to commemorate the recent success of Moose. He is now your television champion. It's just really him being over the top, a bit arrogant, and just saying, here, I'm the television champion now. No one's going to touch me. No one's going to take this title from me. And I didn't want anyone to interrupt him, because I felt like it gives me an opportunity to, have a think about it and see who I feel could be best meshed to tangle with him at the next pay-per-view. So we'll have him gloating, and maybe week after week after week we'll have someone that gets sick of it. But that gives us a solid angle, 61. And we have the in-ring debut of Claudio Castingoli. Of course, his signing was unveiled at the pay-per-view, and he defeats Adam Fornstall in 7:12 with a very European uppercut. 51 here, obviously Adam's not particularly over, 28 performance for him, but the 61 gives Claudio the perfect start to life in Impact Wrestling. We then had another extremely short matchup where we had All Eagle Ethan Page defeat Hernandez in 4:51 with a spinning facebuster. A 41 here. I think you can get the idea that the show is pretty much giving people positive momentum. All Eagle picks up the win in this matchup. It leads to our strongest promo of the night, and that was a 68, and he just says, look at this loser Hernandez, just like that loser Josh Alexander. He was holding me back, and now it's All Eagle's time to start to shine. Again, we'll probably follow a very similar path we did with Moose, where people will get sick of Ethan Page, but it gives me an idea of who can go and feud with Moose, who can go and feud with Ethan Page. So I feel like we can push Ethan Page quite highly, and that promo is going to be really, really strong for us in terms of our top rated promo, which obviously are rated on our top promo and our main event spotlight match. We then had a decent matchup in the women's division, or the Knockouts division, with Jordan Grace getting a victory over Ram Chiacho in 6:16 with a fall from Grace. A 56 here, which is very good. Grace with a fantastic 60 performance. Both knockouts with great chemistry, and that does boost the rating as well. But the champ is doing well, and she's been one of those ones where I followed bits of her career, but she's been such a solid hand for me in TW that, as I say, I've pushed her in this save and I've pushed her in OFW as well. Or OWF. I should know this is my own custom promotion. But just really, really good. Of course, we started the show with Ronda. And now we have more Ronda Rousey. So Jordan's in the ring, she's celebrating. And Ronda Rousey strikes and attacks. So a 69, best rating of the show for promos. The plan was eventually to do Grace versus Rousey way down the line. But if Ronda's not going to be champion in the tag division, not be able to carry that, then may as well have her carry a knockouts division, or at least help elevate people to her level in terms of overness. And I feel Jordan Grace is the first person that could benefit from that, and I want to have big things in them. I want her straight to the main event. They've done that in WWE with her, and we'll do it here. We then have the Young Bucks, no longer Generation Me, get that in the bin. And they cut a promo on Inflictors of Pain. They just said, well, it's funny that Inflictors of Pain think they are the best tag team around. Newsflash, it doesn't matter which company it is, the Young Bucks, the AEW EVPs are the best tag team around. We've got unfinished business in here. We've gotten a bit in agreement with Impact Wrestling. We lend them wrestlers, they lend us wrestlers. And we thought we'd pop up and just show and remind everyone just how damn good we are. So 61 there, that's the best way I could cover the EVPs coming over on loan deals, so don't think they're here permanently. Ace Austin comes down, he's going to watch the matchup in our main event, which is going to be Phoenix against his big buddy, Madman Fulton. So Ace Austin obviously a bit frustrated at losing the Impact World Championship, and that was a 68. And the main event, oh, that could see not a great rating. Good matchup, Phoenix defeats Madman Fulton in 11:50 with a Meteora. 59s, Phoenix with 61, Madman with 51, so they both actually had their ratings elevated with a great chemistry. Again, good to know about that. And that's with Phoenix off his game, so we maybe could have hit the 60s, but probably should have went with a stronger main event. We should still give pop everywhere, but it was just to give a champion the win, and Ace Austin will go back to the drawing board. So we finish for 59, and that increases our popularity in 28 regions. And because I haven't booked this in a couple of weeks, I don't know if that extends in America. But the main thing is with America is the biggest pop game, the game of the start, like the say 54 to 55, is strictly going to be events. Events are the best way we can get there. You don't gain enough from the TV exposure we get. So we'll gain like small popularity around the world in the smaller places where we're like not over at all, but America, that is the pay-per-views. But might need to go a stronger main event. But overall, the promo angle side of things was really strong. And it just shows again with a very, I'd say, even mix there. I'd say obviously maybe let down by Ethan Page and Hernandez, but the rest of the show very good. And the 59 is the standard level we're at just now. And obviously we've still got people like Jeff Hardy we could probably utilise in the main event, and the many wrestlers we didn't use and we'll use in the upcoming tapings. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought about it and who you'd like to see pushed going forward. But until next time, see you soon. Bye bye.